Hello. Welcome back. A little bit earlier than expected. So I'm not really expecting a whole lot out of the stream, or at least not right away. But yeah, my Friday night's not looking quite as conducive for me knocking out a stream this week. I don't know. I might still be able to do it, but I figured I've got a window to do it tonight, so here we are. Gonna give it a go. I've got a few things ready to go. They're already updated in the list. So it's a handful of contracts that need completing in the career save we've been going through. So we'll get this fired up. Let me think. What else is worth mentioning? I've been giving a little bit of thought to both the continuation of this series, so to speak, and just because I've gotten more used to what I'm doing here and advanced this Magna Drive thing enough that I kind of get the point now. Which I'll talk more about that later. The other part of it is that I'm also kind of like a little interested in maybe exploring some other games on stream, so I kind of want to maybe try to get a taste of branching out from just KSP. Looks like my HUD kind of froze there. Hang on. There we go. Might as well. We'll get into completing mission objectives here. That's not how you spell it. Alright. And this is where we'll start. Anyways, so I've been thinking about what I would branch out to as far as other games. And I gotta be honest, that little weird, it would be strange to call it a Freudian slip, but accidentally referring to Valentina as Jill Valentine or whatever or something. I was like, maybe I should do Resident Evil on stream sometime. But I'm thinking the OG PS1s. Hello, what is that? Supremist Butter? Are you really into butter? Welcome to the stream. We're going to be going through some contracts here in this career mode. And my rule is no engines, no parts from the engine menu. All right, so let's review the contracts I want to knock out tonight. They're not too thrilling, but they should be a little bit interesting. And there's some interesting a little caveat that happened from the last stream. One of the contracts did not complete, and I'll get to that here in a minute. So, Supreme Butter. All right, cool. I like butter. Anyways, so we're gonna recover this part here. This is an LKO. It's like I think it's described as like the station hub part or whatever. I have a interesting looking craft, I guess. It's not quite as, I don't know. I'm not like super thrilled with the way it looks. It looks like a bug to me. You'll see in here in a minute. But this part's in LKO. We just got to go grab it and bring it back. Then we're going to start here, but this is a very simple thing. Science data from space around Minmus. I've already got, a vehicle at Minmus, so this will be an instantly done thing. Ferry 3 tourists safely to their destination. This is entirely about getting these 3 tourists out of the Kerbal SOI. So we'll be briefly leaving the Kerbal SOI to complete that objective and then bringing them back. So hopefully that will go swimmingly. What's next? Extract ore from the Mun and deliver it to Kerbal. I did not build this craft. So if I do get to a Friday... if I do get to a Friday stream, maybe I'll try to concoct a craft for this and see if we can pull it off. Because this is quite a lot of ore. So without the engines and using the Kraken Drive, Magna Drive thing, this might be a challenge. So I'm kind of looking forward to this one. So this is the contract that did not complete, and I realized why. All of these other tourists, their itinerary was basically just a tour of the Kerbal system, and I misread this singular Kerbal, this tourist's objective of in orbit around the sun, as Mun. So it didn't complete. So this one tourist plus the other 3, that's 4 tourists that need to get out of the Kerbal SOI. Apart from that, then we have probably maybe the most challenging / awkward contract to complete, which is a part on the surface of the Mun. I looked it up. It is the junior ore conversion kajigger thing. And I'm pretty much just going to land on it with a grabber unit and return to orbit. And then I think I'll get a better grip on it, so to speak, once I'm back in orbit. These are awkward missions for me to do, and I've not really come up with a design that I'm truly happy with that does it very cleanly at the surface. So we're just going to do it the awkward way. All right, so with that explained, let's get to it here. So we're doing science data from Minmus. Let's just knock this out right away. Super easy. All right. Not the Mun. Let's look at Minmus. We need one of my earlier designs once again. Why can't I see it? Am I not looking at planes? I'm just not reading. There we go. And it's already at the surface. Look at that. So we'll just do a crew report or something. There's probably some science data that is still yet to be recovered from Minmus that I could get to, but haven't. That might be something I should look into. Make sure I'm getting all the science I need. I think there's only like a few parts of the tech tree I haven't unlocked just because I simply don't need to at this point. Well, there she blows. Crew report, transmit, and we're done. Wait, what? Does it have to be around Minmus? Did that really not work? Really? From space around Minmus. It has to be truly around Minmus. Okay, well then, we'll do this. How lame is that? It can't be the surface. Listen. You don't fall off the craft here. Just hop and do an EVA report. Whoops. Keep it. Okay, RCS back down. Board, and then that should be here. Review, transmit. There we go. Okay, so that's technically around Minmus. Done. There we go. Go back to Space Center. And we can mark that as complete. That feels good. Okay, so now we get into the more interesting things. Need to launch one of my recover vehicles. MD Recover 1. It's not a very interesting name. I'm still kind of trying to figure out names I'm happy with for this entire thing. But MD Recover 1 is going to go get this part in LKO. So let's get that loaded up, and we'll get it on the runway. For what it's worth, I always feel I've been feeling like my designs in this career save, since they're all done with this docking port Kraken drive. I've designed almost every single one of them like a plane, just because I feel like if it can go anywhere, then it should be designed to endure every environment, including atmosphere. So yeah, this is the design that I'm not too thrilled about. It's I don't know, it's a little weird, a little bloated, but it needed to be this size to grab that station hub, which I'll pull that up. So this is part, I think, 2JT8R or something. It needs to fit, just slot right on in there, and then we'll bring it back. And that's it. Just a grabber unit, and that's all we're going to do. Yeah, and then for the unfamiliar, these are the Magna drives. It's kind of part clipped here. I'll get a good look at it. Whoop. Docking ports are all smashed together right there. And then there's the inflatable docking port, which is mapped to the main throttle. So that'll extend when I do full throttle and creates the forward thrust. That's it. So let's get this on the runway. This is an unmanned one, so we're just grabbing a part, bringing it back. Load. It's not that big of a craft. Let's go. There we go. SAS on. Do the basic things that I want to keep an eye on. And we'll just giddy up and go. I think this one's a little bit slower than most of the other crafts. But we'll just go with it. Because it's a little bit slower, I'm going to hurry up and get it up out of the lower atmosphere. We'll just go straight up. Most of these perform well when I get out of the stratosphere, so, or at least the upper stratosphere. Usually around like 15 to 20,000 meters, I can start performing a gravity turn. I don't know. Looks like a bug to me. Anybody else think it looks like a bug? Let me know. Yeah, this one's definitely a lot slower. Some of the other designs I've done, I've actually been going through a lot of designs from previous streams, previous missions and whatnot. I'm trying to apply the latest version of the Magna Drive and give them a little bit extra oomph. And so I'm getting really used to some of them having quite a bit more power to them. All right, we're kind of crossing that threshold, so let's start giving it a little nudge. There we go. Okay, settle down with the flapping here. See? What is this? No. It's just, it's these things. They're overcompensating. I really should be, like, limiting it or something, but whatever. I think we can do this. There we go. Come on. Settle down. Settle down. All right. Seems much more stable. Apoapsis is up to 50 kilometers. And there's the part. Can almost just grab it right now. But I think we'll have to let it catch up a little bit. All right, I think about 80 kilometers should do it. And drag seems pretty limited at this point. It's at 84 kilometers. Well, we're going to set it as target anyways. Let's give it a little bit more oomph. Okay. I am tempted to maybe just kind of keep going and see if it'll... What happens if I just do this and then... Too interesting not to do. We'll get right next to it. And then we'll do retrograde to target. Let's just go for it like this. We're just hopping right up out of the atmosphere and going to grab it. Retrograde to target. There it is. So we'll wait. For no reason whatsoever, let's deploy the antennas. We're out of the atmosphere, might as well. I should probably get my hands on those inflatable docking ports so that I can thrust limit, so to speak. How are we doing? Whoa, whoa, oh, goodness. There it is. Went from 20 kilometers. Well, we'll have to catch up now. No problem. Went from 20 kilometers to 1.5 in the snap of a finger there. No big deal. Kind of curious how well this will work. Just doing this like almost the stupid way. I don't really know why I'm doing it this way. I just am. It is getting closer. Point towards the target. Just make sure. How close can we get? Just kind of shooting straight at it. There's no reason to be worried about excessive use of Del V. So why not? Let's just catch right back up to it. Oh, we got another... Oh, yes, okay. We will be very close. Okay, so then we can just catch on up. We'll point retrograde. And we'll burn off the rest of this excess speed that we've picked up. Try that again. All right, I think we've killed the velocity well enough. We should be able to get close enough here. All right, now let's thrust limit. And within 100 meters. Okay, now we just gotta get ourselves up there, oriented nicely. So payload bay is open. Lights aren't the color I meant for them to be, but that's fine. Kind of forgot about that. We'll use RCS to kind of get ourselves there. Time warp a little bit. Hopefully we're not hitting it. I'm going to slow down a little bit here because I do have a particular way of doing this that I like to do. I'm going to arm this. And I'm going to aim camera on the target. If I can, if it'll let me. Do I have to like make it not the target? Now it's the target. Okay, there we go. All right, we're gonna do this. Shh, settle down, RCS. All right, I'm gonna do this. All right, we'll get this more or less kind of over the payload bay. Now, it looks like I'm drifting down a little bit. May have nudged it. Let's time warp just a little bit. RCS off. Let's rotate it. And then it looks like we should pitch up a bit. Want to get this clean. Pitch up. All right. So I'm kind of doing multiple things at once here now, and that's not a great way to do this, because then I kind of have to keep reorienting the camera. Kind of just started doing like docking maneuvers this way. I don't ordinarily do it, but kind of like it. I don't know. It works. There we go. Part collected. Let's return to KSC. And you know what? I kind of feel like just going straight back. Let's just go straight back. Right? It's closer this way. Why orbit around? Oh wait, no. You know what? This one's so slow. This one's so slow that we are gonna take the orbit. If I had one of the more powerful versions of this, or just slapped a few more of those magnet drives on there, I might have followed through with that. But I think it would be more wise to just kind of orbit around and slow down the easy way. All right, retrograde to orbit. We can get a little closer. There we go. I don't think I put any thermal management, like radiators, on this thing. I probably should have, but it'll be fine. I think I have aero brakes, so that should compensate pretty well. Yeah, there's aero brakes. Ooh, excuse me. Changing the camera orientation here. Yeah, much slower. Oh, well, part of it is I'm still thrust limiting. There we go. And I did forget a lot of those. There we go. Several objectives checked off. I was locked in. All right. Now that'll overshoot. I'm gonna bring it in a little bit. It's gonna glide over those mountains, so we'll aim for the grasslands. All right, prograde. Turn it around. KSC's that way. The moon is hovering over the horizon like a Death Star once again. All right, surface relative should be good. And back to stability control. Oh, you know what? Before we are entering the atmosphere, it might be a good idea to retract those antennas. All right, all the way in. Wait, do I have brakes on this one? I do. Okay, good. So as we start to collect some heat, then we'll deploy the aero brakes. That should manage things pretty well. Re-entry is always exciting. Yeah, getting a little hot, so I'll do some aero braking, get that speed down to something manageable. Something less threatening. There we go. And as we get lower in the atmosphere, we should get enough drag that terminal velocity really slows us down. Slow down a little bit more. Just gliding right now. Can return to powered flight, I think, as we get down lower. Yeah, okay, powered flight. Ooh, that roll. Did I turn this off? I did. It's still rolling a lot. I think it's just the reaction wheels. Alright, cut throttle. Gear, that should slow us down a little bit more. Going a little slow, so we'll pick up the pace again. There we go. Now brakes. Not exactly lined up with that runway very well, but is what it is. There we go. Oh, don't do that. Let's keep it together here. All right. Low power mode. We'll kind of turn it around, get it back to the end of the runway so we make sure we get that full part recovery. All right. That's done. Why is it drifting? It keeps pulling left and right. I don't know why. Weird. Weird, 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 weird. Whatever. All right. MD recover has done its job. We now need to launch MD recover 2 into LKO and get that headed towards the MUN to pick up part RX-50. Okay. Come on. I don't know why I was... KSP was not coming back into focus here. Okay, so... MD Recover 2 is a little bit of an interesting design. It deviates from the plane design, and it's just going to be a goofy little lander that basically falls onto the part that needs to be recovered, and then brings it back. I think I outfitted it even with a parachute, so it'll be a little bit of a wild return. Where is it? Under here. Still trying to sort these craft out into better structure with these folders here. Okay. Here's MD Recover 2. And MD Recover 2 is going to need an engineer, so we can do a little bit of some assembly required, some EVA construction. Charlie, you are an engineer. Let's get you, just in case, you never know, give you some repair kits. There we go. And then I think we're good. This should be all set to go. So let's giddy up and go. This one should go pretty fast, I think. Not necessarily the whole mission, but the vehicle itself is fairly low mass and is outfitted with 2 of these Magna drives, so it's got quite a bit more thruster-weight ratio. Okay, SAS on. And we should be good. Let's just do the usual things to keep an eye on it. Gear up. Here we go. Getting out of that atmosphere real fast. Okay. Probably can start suggesting that prograde orbit now. Orbital reference frame? Can we pull that off? Uh-oh. Okay. Don't lose it here. Hang on. I'm a little worried. I have to watch it here. That might have been a little too aggressive. Maybe we're okay. Yeah, I was worried there was going to be some drag, center of mass issues, and whip it around, but I think we're okay. Yeah, this thing absolutely tears through the atmosphere. Oh, we're already at 100 kilometers. Okay. I'll just, I'll roll with it. I was shooting for 80, but I guess we're going to 100. I guess I'm going to need to do some thrust limiting. So, get that inflatable airlock up here. All right. Time warp out. We'll get into LKO. And that part of it is complete. Still technically LKO, I guess. Prograde, please. And just point towards the horizon, more or less. Full throttle. Going good. Actually, almost too much. Let's let that apoapsis come up to me. I'm watching the number. I'll go to map mode just so you guys can see it better. But I'm watching the numbers down here. Yeah. It's got quite a lot of oomph. Looks like it can get pretty close. And we'll just circularize. Alright, now maybe we thrust limit a little bit. I don't know why I'm being so detailed, or like, I don't know, nitpicky about getting into LKO nice and circular. Whatever. I don't need to be perfect here. Okay. That's done. Complete. Now, let's transit it to the Mun, because that's where the part is that we need to recover. Okay. Looks like right about here would be good. Set the moon as target. Might as well. Yeah. Come on. A little bit more. There we go. All right. Let's get that encounter. Woo! There we go. Focus view. Now we should fine-tune it a little bit. Ooh, okay. All right, all right, all right. Let's see just how good we can get here. That seems good enough. We will need to do a mid-course correction burn, but we can wait on that. So, while that's on its transit, which we can now mark as complete, let's go ahead and launch the tourists. And go back to KSC. Okay. Let's launch at night. I don't want to put too much distance, or let that craft drift away too much. Okay, can I? I can't do this because I've got it buried in a sub menu. With these tourist vehicles, these sort of ferry vehicles, I guess, I am trying to adhere to a naming convention now. Let's see here. Utilities, I think, is where I have it. Tourism 4. So it's just, you know, it's the number is just being assigned based off of crew or capacity, I guess. Okay, tourists. We have 4 seats. We have 4 tourists. Wilfred, we're finally going to get you where you want to go. Everybody wants to get out of Kerbin's SOI and be quote-unquote interplanetary. So let's do it. I don't know why these load times are so long. Sort of strange. There we go. All right. SAS. There we go. Giddy up and go. This one, I think we can just let it go at like 45 degrees. Might as well. Do that till we're at 80 kilometers. This is yet another one that's going to be pretty fast, as you can see. Its magna drives are sitting back here. So it's kind of got an ass. And a little above 80 kilometers. We're still kind of cutting through the thicker parts of the, well, not the thicker parts of the atmosphere, but just passing halfway. Still have a decent amount of drag. Point prograde. I guess we can just time warp now. Now the question is, how exactly do I want to eject them? I did this prograde orbit, and I thought for a moment, what if I just ejected kind of like normal to Kerbin's orbit? But I guess I'm not doing that. Probably going to be easiest to go prograde and then just kind of slow down, come back. All right, let's get into LKO. Deploy those antennas before I forget. There's MD recover. There we go. Okay. I think we can just go ahead and like warp to like right here and go prograde. Interesting that this thing was labeled just as a ship. Most of them have been accurately assigned plane on launch. That one feels fair to call a lander. Whatever. All right. We got into LKO. Completed that. Now we need to eject them. So that should have gotten some of the... Yeah, some of that got checked off. Okay, back to this. I am curious what the timing of this is going to be, because it will possibly mean having to jump to a few other things in between. There we go. 13 days. Yeah, there might be some... We might have to do some mid-course corrections with a few other things. So there'll be some bonus objectives happening in here. But we won't... I'm sure we'll be back before I have to start designing craft for Dres. Because that can't happen on this stream. All right. Okay. Let's just add an alarm for SOI change. Just so we know we're getting close. Yeah. In the meantime, let's work on getting this recovery vessel where it needs to be. So last stream, I had, this, for what it's worth, this channel is probably on the order of 11 years dead, so to speak. And I've been trying to, like, kind of revive it with these streams, just kind of get back into it. And last stream, I had the most, I'm using air quotes here, the most people I've had in stream. And nobody talked. Like, there were a few comments, and I can't help but notice in OBS right now that there's been a few people who've kind of hopped in and out, and it's the last two streams just a quiet bunch. It almost makes me nervous that there's something wrong with the stream, and that's my only concern. But yeah, you guys don't have to talk, but it does reassure me that at least things are working correctly, I guess. Anyways, let's see here. Okay, mid-course correction burn for this would be a good idea. I keep using the term burn, and it just doesn't make any sense without engines. Let's get a little bit further along here. Warp. Really? That's as fast as you're gonna go? Okay, it's fine. Maybe it gives me a chance to get in here. I don't want to pin that one. I want to aim camera, because we are going to want to do a lot of management of thrust here. Looks like it's already thrust limited pretty well, so we shall see. All right, time warp complete. Point normal, it looks like, will be a good idea. Point normal. This part is more or less at the equator, so this should be pretty easy to just... Yeah, right about there. Okay, and it looks like go a little bit retrograde now. There we go. Okay. So now we're just going to enter it into orbit. So let's go ahead and warp right here. Oh, it changed my trajectory there. I don't know why it does that. It wasn't significant, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's just warp right on in. Hello, Mun. Mun. Ooh. We'll need full docking power here. Full docking power. What's my timing here? Get a little closer. This should be pretty easy. Slow down. Okay. Get a little closer. Yeah, for what it's worth, I don't do a lot of this stuff flying like in map mode. I watch down here a lot of the times. So if it's not translating exactly what it is that I'm doing, apologies. Yeah, okay, nice and circular now. And there is part FX50. And okay, so we're gonna have to get it a little bit north. We'll warp about here, should be okay. Get it lined up. We'll need a little bit more power to do that, so just wait till we're there. And we did indeed enter it into lunar orbit, and now we need to land it on or near the part. Okay. Retrograde it. Oh, no. Normal, right? We need to get it kind of going over the part. This one, I did get a look at it because I've got somewhere. Where is it? Oh yeah, see, I've got a vehicle at the Mun, and at one point it was fairly close to here, so I was able to get a look at what this part is and where it's positioned. It's kind of on a crater rim, like the inside of a crater rim, and it's going to be a little bit sloppy, I think. It has the potential of running away from me, so quite literally, like rolling down the hill. So as I get set up here, I think I'm going to do a quick save, just in case this goes real bad. Whoa, why are we... I forgot to point the right direction. Okay, retrograde is where I want to go. Retrograde, please. Autosave needs to not lag me. Alright, there's my handy-dandy Kerbal Engineer landing marker. Not the most accurate thing in the world, but it does the job in a vacuum pretty well. Pretty much just going to drop down straight on top of this thing. That's my goal anyways. Alright. Looks like we could stand to... Oh, we weren't even doing full force. Full force. I can just barely make it out, which means you guys can't see it at all. Marker is down there a little bit. Oh, now it's right about there. This is my target, by the way. There we go. Alright, let's quick save, and hope this goes well. So we're going to need my vertical landing gear. Oh, those are not... Right, this thing doesn't have 2 pairs of landing gear. This has just 1, so... Let's go ahead and arm this, I guess. And probably aim camera on that. Hopefully this goes well. This will probably be the most nerve-wracking part of this. Do I have RCS on this? Can I? Yeah, I can use that to kind of adjust my approach here. I don't think I want to do it that way. We'll do a radial out here a little bit. Radial out a little bit more. Radial out, please. A little bit more. Thank you. There we go. Retrograde to surface. Level it out here. I would like to not come down on it too hard. And I know it's gonna be hovering above the surface too. That's the problem. Radial out a little bit. So I want to give it the opportunity to kind of like end up on the ground for sure. Okay, I see the shadow. I think I should aim for that. Kind of just going to try to swap back and forth here between radial out. And is that really where it's going to be? Okay, there we go. Slow down, slow down. Okay, radial out. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Maybe a little less. Okay. RCS maybe. There we go. Retrograde. Come on. Radial out. Can we just land on it? Literally just going to try to hover here. Drift over it. Okay. I think we just let it drop. Got it! It worked. That was fun. Okay. We quick save now. Oh, we can't quick save while moving over the surface, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. Full throttle. Go. Get off the surface. So hang on. I just gotta pause. I don't want to do anything stupid while I'm minimized. We got it. Transit to Kerbal. I guess in progress. Just get into orbit and everything. All right. Do that, and then we just point it east. So we're gonna. This isn't entirely over. This isn't how I want to bring it back. Not at all. Gear up, please. We're just gonna get it into orbit, and we're gonna do this a little bit more of a refined way. There is a reason why I have the engineer. So the idea is going to be we'll release it, and once we're in orbit, and then we'll get an engineer out, and we'll attach a docking port and get it hooked up here. And then we'll bring it back. Okay, I think we can time warp now. Prograde, please. Trying to keep the apoapsis just ahead of me. There we go. Woo, we went well into orbit. Let's just even that out a little bit to a nice circular orbit, please. Just for funsies. Alright, good enough. So, let's release it. Hopefully it doesn't... Let's quick save, just in case. Then release. Okay, there we go. Just wanted to stop its rotation. Okay, so we'll let it get away from us a little bit, which is fine. Disarm. Reset the camera. Make it the target again. Hello, make it the target again, please. Point towards the target. We're gonna get locked now with the camera here. This is usually how I kind of do approaches with docking and everything, so. But this is a lot more of a straightforward recovery. I don't really... Well, I guess I should leave RCS on. How close are we? Let's aim camera up here. Still want to get a little bit to the left of it. Am I drifting above it? I am. I like to get nice and lined up here as best I can. Just so this is pretty much just move forward. Okay, that should be good. Yeah? Maybe just a tap back? There we go. Okay, so go on EVA, Charlie. And then... Oh boy. Okay, EVA construction. This should be pretty straightforward. Take that, put it there, and board. That's it. Then, set that as target. Control from here. RCS off just so we don't do anything stupid. RCS back on. And let's dock. Oh, our antennas are not deployed. Not that that mattered. Got plenty of relays. Boonk. Got it. Okay. Now we just need to head back to Kerbal with this thing. Get that recovered. Plenty of time to do that. So let's go around this way. RCS does not need to be on anymore. And we could use full power now. Almost forgot. Bring it down. Why are we lagging? Stop it. Full throttle. There we go. And give it a little bit more oomph. And then warp here. Okay. I think that's officially transiting back to Kerbal. So let's mark that as complete. And now in progress. Returning. Let's focus you on Kerbal. Oops. Prograde is not what we want anymore. Retrograde would be better. Let's bring that down to something healthy. And we will recircularize upon arrival. Oops. Now I do want prograde. It is choosing the worst times to autosave. There we go, 80. 80 kilometers seems nice. Warp on in. Bring it back home. Where are you, Kerbal? There goes the moon. Goodbye, moon. Hello, Kerbal. Are we still in locked? There we go, auto. Hello, Kerbal. We're 4 seconds to periapsis? Okay, I'm sorry. Try to keep that periapsis close to me. There we go. There we go. Recircularizing very nicely. Now where is KSC? It's in the darkness. Let's wait until it is not in the darkness. Oh, it might time out fairly well. Right at sunrise. Okay, good. So, this one, since it is not a plane, is not going to be very controllable. Coming back. I'm going to aim for the launch pad, but I'm also going to kind of bring it straight down. Okay, now point normal. Alright, and drag should take care of the rest. Ooh, where are we looking? There we go. Retrograde to surface. Get those antennas retracted. Let's kind of level it out here. I am nervous, so I'm going to quick save again. All right, let's bring it in. It looks like we could go a little bit more normal, and it would be a good idea. So I'm going to do that. Okay, retrograde. Level it out. I think we're going to be okay. Let's do this. I am aiming for the launch pad if I can. Okay, let's... Coming in kind of hot, so... I'll wait. Yeah, air brakes. Okay. Can I... Whoa, whoa! Oh, that was my problem. Oh, no. Okay. Can I get this to reorient? This might be the problem. That I don't know that I can reorient without any control surfaces. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. That's gonna be the thing. This is why I quick saved, because I didn't outfit with parachutes. So I won't get testy with it. Try that again. Whoa. A little bit more. Okay, retrograde surface. Level it off. Realistically, though, I probably could have designed this in a way where I did it like a plane and could have full control bringing it back. Ooh, sloppiest way of doing this. And the worst timing, too. Not a bad look to it, though. Oh no! What the hell? Okay, wait, aero brakes. You gotta be kidding me. Really? I guess I should have them deployed. Coming back. Because there's no way... Can I get this reoriented? Can I even suggest it to the water? Let's try something here. Hold on. Put it in locked. Is that the way we are? It does not want to get towards the water. RCS, come on. Some way we can do this. Can we get it reoriented? Come on. How much mono propellant do I have? Can I do it? Can I do it? Come on. Come on. This is not looking good. Parachutes might have been a good idea. Alright, we'll have to do this with the aero brakes on the whole time then. Just to keep it oriented. What a bummer. I knew this one was going to be a little weird. I don't know what possessed me. I think it's just the way I had to recover the part. That's the reason why I didn't want to make it a plane, but I probably could have figured out a way to make it a plane. Once again, slight little tap on it. And this time, once I hit the atmosphere, I'll just deploy the brakes and keep it oriented correctly. Aim camera. Make sure I've got that just in case I need it. Brakes. I think with the retrograde lock and the aero brakes deployed, this should keep it pretty stable. I'm just not going to touch it. How strong do I got the spring? Oh, really? Hang on. Let's bring that spring strength up a little bit. Auto. Hopefully it's most close enough to being the same here. Okay, gears can go down, I think, now. I don't think it's going to flip me around. We're not producing that much drag. We can probably cut that throttle in half safely. Aim camera somewhere down here, please. Hovering. There we go. Alright. I didn't bring it down at the launch pad. Bummer. Could have done that a little bit more, I don't know, gracefully. But hey, it's back, and we will complete the contract. So, that's done. Now we need to return to those tourists. So they're not exactly out yet, but we'll still mark this as in progress. And you know what? I think we're gonna have to do some mid-course correction burns for Duna and Ike. Duna, Ike, MCC. Maneuvers. Yeah. And that's probably going to happen before returning, so we'll put it right about there. That's my expectation. Okay, that's done. Let's return to the tourist vehicle. There's always the possibility here that I could just full throttle straight back to Kerbal and then brake hard before coming back. Just so that I can get back within 21 days. Although I think it's down to like 19 days now. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. There we are. There's Kerbal and the moon. And let's get a look at how close we are. Pretty close. All right, let's get rid of that alarm because we won't need it anymore. And let's just get out of the SOI. And then we'll come back. So this should complete everybody's mission objectives. Zipping past Min-Miss. No, keep going. Accidentally canceled there. And there we go. Okay, so a bunch of objectives complete. So how are we? Everyone met their itinerary here, and so did Wilfred. He is now happy. So all the tourists have done what they want to do. Let's delete all these messages. So now I'm thinking... By the way, what is my... Oh, it's just straight to... Wow. Okay, I only have 2 of these antennas. And that's all it takes for a direct line of sight. Impressive. All right. I really honestly think the best way to get back there is just to point back retrograde. Trying to think about it. Yeah, let's just point retrograde. No. Can I set Kerbal as target? By the way, look at this disaster of everything here. Set as target. Okay, retrograde. Yeah, there we go. Excuse me? There we go. We would like to get there a little bit quicker than that. Oh, that's the escape? When's the return? Am I already back in the return? 4 minutes. Okay, so we'll be back in the SOI. So let's just time warp until we're like that. And see what our... Okay, so we've put ourselves in a retrograde orbit. Let me think about this here. If we go radial in... Oh, we're still time warping. That's why it's not letting me do that. Radial in. Yep. Well, that technically would be the fastest way back. 10 days. Yeah, gonna have to do a couple maneuvers, I think. Can I focus view on Kerbal, please? Okay, so then if I'm coming back prograde now, radial out would be ideal. And probably want to thrust limit, so... and then also... This is technically complete. This is in progress. But this is also going to have to be in progress. So we're down to the end here. Yeah, let's keep this up. Okay, radial out. There we go. We'll just do this as a maneuver, I think. And we'll add a maneuver alarm. Get the timing of it. Okay. Easily going to be after everything else. So, we do have to do some mid-course correction burns. So here now needs to be the full admission here. The things that I've sent to other planets already were done with me still coming to a full understanding of how a docking port Kraken drive works. So this earlier design, I thought I had to kind of create some separation between the stacked docking ports, and I also thought they had to be pairs in order to generate the thrust. And it's also controlled by a piston, so this is a little... It's kind of a significant downgrade. And it's a little bit harder for me to fully manage. And a little bit more Kraken-y, so to speak. Okay, so this is a mid-course correction burn. Right? Is it really? Wait, hold up. Yeah, it is. Okay, it is. And what's the objective here? Duna is the target, right? Or maybe Ike is the target. Where is this one going? Oh, this is kind of... It's going to Ike, I bet. Whoa. No, it's going to Duna. Okay, so the goal is to get it into Duna orbit. Alright. We can delete the alarm then. And we can warp to the maneuver. But as we get there, I'm thinking we don't need all of these docking ports activated. Okay, so we'll turn off one ring of them. And we can probably get pretty close, only 100 meters per second to shave off here. So I'm thinking we can get pretty close to this maneuver node. I am time warping, and I'm looking just down here at my time to node here, because I really want to watch how this pans out. The difficult thing about performing maneuvers with this thing is that I have no, like... Yeah, probably did that a little too late. The timing of this is always a guess. But that's okay. Excuse me. Whoa, 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 whoa. What did it just do to me? It just deleted my maneuvers. Or, like, what happened? Did I hit something? What? That was strange. Okay. Yeah, just like... That was weird. It just like all of a sudden updated my trajectory and like... Okay, alright. Now we're gonna have to work with it, I guess. Prograde, maybe. Ignore that one now. That was weird. Prograde. Anti-normal. Okay, we're gonna have to do this gently. Okay. So, to just describe this design here, what I'm doing here is I'm modifying the docking port force for 2 rings of docking ports, but there's still a central one that produces thrust. So like when I bring this all the way down to 0, I still have like kind of like the lowest amount of thrust. And I should be pointing normal if I'm gonna continue to fix this. Yeah, the random decision by the game to suddenly update my trajectory to something other than what it told me is not nice. Okay, prograde. Okay, I don't know what that was about. We'll use RCS to do some fine-tuning here. And since RCS even seems to be a little bit too much, where are those thrusters? Okay, there's one set of them. We'll knock those down to like 10%. Come over here. Come on, 10. 10 even, please. Whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have to tell myself that. Alright. What are we looking for? Okay. I think 60 would be nice. Point normal now. RCS. Let's level this off. Let's make Ike the target so that we can really kind of see. That's probably nice and level. Okay. Back to... Let's do retrograde. I'm gonna get nitpicky here. Yeah, that's okay. And then that's where we'll do this entry burn. Or insertion burn, I guess. There. That's good enough. We just need a timer for it, so... Since that's going to be a high velocity burn, we'll set this thing up to be ready to do it. I'm not really concerned about the RCS being the way it is. I'm a little bit concerned about trajectories updating randomly now as I'm doing these involved transits. Kind of scares me a little bit. Okay. I think I feel good about this. Add the alarm for it, and then let's go do one more. This is a comms vehicle. There it is. Not a pretty sight. I have definitely updated this. This is a very early design. Oh my god, I'm not going to enjoy this, am I? Good lord, what do I have? Okay. Same situation. Let's get this pinned. Part count on this one is just absurd, so that's really going to be the most challenging part of this. No pun intended. What is this? What is this? Is that really the mid-course correction burn that I need to do? What did I do, man? What was I thinking? I'm very confused. Is what it is. I'm just going to trust it. But you know what I mean? Like, why? I'm trying to think now if I had a reason for doing it like this. It just feels like it could get there a lot sooner. Like right here, right? Why is this a huge burn? You know, absolutely not. We're not doing this. This just seems insane. Add maneuver. Like, it just can't be. Is it really that late? Let's just go prograde. Is that really what's going on? What happened with this thing, man? Yeah. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. Alright, is what it is. Trying to think if there's anything else that I screwed up. It really is what I have to do. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do it all over again. Which is fine. I can make it happen. Makes me nervous, though. there it is again. Okay. Focus view. Prograde. And where is this going? What is this? Is for Magna comms for Duna? What kind of comms? I should probably refamiliarize myself just to make sure I understand. What kind of comm satellites are in here? A big relay, it looks like. And 2 small relays. Okay. So I'm going to put them in equatorial orbit, it looks like. Not my usual comms network either. Hmm, 500,000 maybe? For, yeah, roughly speaking. That seems okay. Alright, let's just perform this maneuver. Enough fiddling about. Is what it is. I like how the last one I had everything set for maximum thrust. And then this is the one that has a huge maneuver to do, and I had it at minimum thrust. Makes no sense at all. Magna comms, delete the alarm. I'm a little afraid to just auto warp to this maneuver. You know what? I think the best way to do this would be just have this thing not message, not kill warp. And then we can auto warp. I will quick save just in case this screws me up, because sometimes it likes to just not kill warp at all. Okay. Time warp to the maneuver. 3,300 del V. I'm gonna hazard a guess that this should take about a minute. So I think at 30 seconds, I'm gonna start doing it. No, it's gonna take longer than that. I should start now. Let's go for it. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Can I bump this up and have it not have any issues? Yeah, okay. Great. Gonna be here a while. Well, while we wait, what I've been thinking about this stream or series, I guess. Sorry. I thought progressing through a career mode without using engines was going to be a little bit more challenging. And I'll reiterate for anyone who's just kind of, this is your first time in stream, me messing around with a Kraken drive is not, this is like the first time I've really ever done it. I've never tried it. But I just caught something recently and I was like, oh, that's really kind of interesting, and I've never tried it before, so maybe I'll make a game out of it and try to see if I can progress through a career mode without using any engines, right? The whole premise, obviously. And yeah, I thought it was going to be more challenging. And to be honest, it's not. I'm realizing just how much of an exploit this really is. It's still fun. I think I'm kind of getting a kick out of like designing the crafts differently and thinking about designs differently. But in terms of the challenge of the game, it does kind of break it. It's not like the game is definitely more challenging without a Kraken drive. Which brings me to my next thought, and that is, I think I'm going to start kind of like opening up to suggestions to maybe kind of reorient a KSP series into something else. Because I've never really tried KSP with like aggressive difficulty settings. So I think at the very least I might kind of like shift this over to like just kind of progressing through a career mode and hard mode. But I might take some suggestions to kind of like get some idea of like what you guys think might be kind of fun for a career mode. For what it's worth, man, this is going to be a much longer burn than I thought. If only I had the more powerful magnet drives on this thing. What was I going to pull up here? I just totally derailed my own train of thought. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. Goodness gracious, how long is this going to take? We're probably about 3 minutes into it, and we've only used a quarter of the time. That's frustrating. This is like the worst part of the stream now. Well, I think I can minimize that then. Maybe take a look at a couple other things here. Oh. What I was going to mention was, I want to pull up my exact numbers here. I have, according to Steam, 3,300 and change hours in KSP. And I almost feel like that's something I'm not proud of. Because I probably should be maybe even better at the game than I am with that much time spent in it. But what I've always done with this game is I've always like started a career mode and got it pretty far along, but then gone like, no, you know what? I think I can do it better. And I always restart a new career and design crafts differently and try to progress differently. And I kind of just do that over and over again. It's only been in recent years where I've kind of kept to a career save with some consistency, enough that like I've pretty much been able to get something everywhere and capable of going anywhere and getting data from anywhere. But other things I haven't done are things like the real solar system overhaul. I've never done that, so that's kind of an interesting option on the table. And also early in the stream when I mentioned like I also am kind of open to branching out from KSP, because like, you know, this channel was never a KSP channel. It started out as a Minecraft channel, so I'm kind of open to kind of picking a small selection of games that I enjoy. And I mentioned earlier the OG PlayStation 1 Resident Evil games are something I'm considering. Like, so those, and maybe the remakes, at least the RE2 remake, that's kind of on the table. But the interesting thing is that like I've deliberately avoided Resident Evil 9, and I also have not played Resident Evil 7 or 8. I'm like kind of a huge OG Resident Evil fan, but when the series deviated from PlayStation way back in the day, I kind of lost interest. And when it came back, and you know, the 4 was okay to me. I know a lot of people really like it. I thought it was okay. But then when they went to 5 and 6, I just was like, I don't care about Resident Evil anymore. And I kind of just basically watched Resident Evil 7 from afar with some feeling of like, oh, maybe the series is back on course. But never got back into it. So that's something I'm considering. We still have half this burn to go, so that was... I timed it about right. We're about 6 minutes into it, so there's probably about another 6 minutes of this burn to do. I'm a little afraid to crank it up a little bit harder with these things because they don't behave well when I go to 200%, but let's just go for it. See if we can get this done a little bit quicker. And make sure that they're not docked, because that will happen. Aim camera. Can I get in here and get a good look at it? They're doing okay. They aren't docked. So in theory, we're producing as much thrust as we possibly can. Right, these are all set to 0, right? Oh my god, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. Hang on a second here. Is this why it's really not going that fast? Yeah, why are those set? Oh no, that makes sense, right? What do I have here though? These shouldn't be at 200%. Oh my god, give me... These should be 0. Right? Why are these not 0? Is that really why we weren't moving? You gotta be kidding me. Design flaw. Right? This is the wrong time for me to be confused by this. There we go. It's definitely accelerating faster now. Oh, but it's definitely not. That's 200%. That's definitely... Oh, I grabbed the wrong one here. That's why that's like that. And that's why we've been having an issue. Okay, so that's the outer ring. And we need an inner ring one. They're both at 200%. Just make sure those are at 0. That's not, and that's why. There we go. Now it's moving. Good lord. That was the problem the whole time. Okay. Well, hopefully, since this was a mid-course correction burn, that won't affect it too much. Yeah. Hey, it just gave me time to chat. That's all. Okay, now we can fix it. Right? I don't trust this one. What's going on here? Let's just do this all over again. They all retracted, okay, so that's a good thing. That was definitely a fear of mine, that they wouldn't retract with everything set to... What's the problem here? Getting a hold of these is such a pain in the ass. There. That's an inner ring one. Okay. This is legitimately the thing that am fearing the most is that I deployed so many crafts so early on in this thing without a proper crack and drive. Ooh, looks like retrograde is where we want to go. Okay, RCS. And yeah, we were aiming for 500k pretty on the button. RCS off. Looks like we're fine. We'll roll with it. It's not perfect, but we can always correct later. And who knows if this is all going to be a problem anyways. So, we'll roll with it. This was never the main objective anyways. So, let's just get this circularized, create the alarm, and go back to those tourists. Because that's what we're here for. Create the alarm. And get this back to something usable. That was annoying. Okay. Jump back to the tourist ship. While that's loading, we can say that this is done. Final objective. Return the tourists back to KSC. This should be easy. Okay, we don't need the alarm anymore. We don't even really need the maneuver. But it will be nice to get a hold of the crack and drive. Aim camera. Yeah, we'll need full power here. And time warp to about there. Alright, this is it. I bring this in, and we're going to call it the end of the stream. I can't bring out maneuver mode while time warping? Really? Okay. Retrograde. So, this is lined up pretty nicely for me to go directly back to KSC, but I don't want to do it at night. I would rather do it during the day, so we're going to let it come around to sunrise. We'll use the opportunity to also kind of level out the orbital inclination here. Looks like we're coming pretty close to the equator here. I'm watching this number here. So we're circularizing at a nice time. Okay. Normal, want to do that right now. Get that orbital inclination flattened out. Close to 0. Alright, we can do this with a little more refinement here. This crack and drive is so much more easier to manage. It brings me back to the point of, like, this is quickly feeling like not a challenge to play the game without any engines and do this crack and drive thing. Forgive me for not knowing that. I thought it would be. Okay, what's our periapsis? Because, yeah, it's not healthy. Let's warp around here and get circularized. Prograde, please. Get the alarm clocks out of here because I don't want to see them. Watching the numbers down here. Nice and circularized. Okay, so let's just wait until KSC comes back around into daylight. Yeah. Okay, now we'll warp to here. Retrograde. Once we're out of time warp. Focus view. And let's aim for KSC. All right. Surface relative, point prograde. Might as well get it in free camera view. Level those wings out with a horizon. Close those antennas. We don't need to be in prograde lock either. Okay. Let's time warp in. Use the aero brakes. I think I just turned on the radiators. They should be on. They are cooling. Okay. I think we are technically slow and low enough that I can go into powered flight now. Oh, you know what? I have radiators on... No, I don't have radiators on both sides. I thought I did. We are just ripping straight down. This is not the first time I've done this to the tourists. Giving them, like, a heart attack on the way back in. Hypersonic re-entry. As most are, I guess. Well, might as well use this opportunity to say to everybody, thanks for joining me with the stream. It was fun. Once again, you're a quiet bunch. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, it makes me a little worried that there's something wrong with the stream. But, still kind of nice to see that, people are showing up, so that's kind of fun. Hopefully that goofed up mid-course correction burn wasn't nauseating. Or any more nauseating than it seemed to be for me. A little silly. Alright, okay. We can go low power mode and turn it around and get it back to the end of the runway. Give it a little more oomph. And then we can recover for all the monies. And the tourists are happy. Once I recover this, I guess I'll take a quick peek at what new contracts I've got. But the ones I know I have existing, I think are gonna be worth trying soon. That are somewhat interesting. Past two streams have really been about trying to make sure that nothing goes terribly awry, because there were two streams there that were full of some problems. but every single one of these vehicles that I've built with the new Kraken drives with these inflatable docking ports has been so much easier to manage that it's beginning, once again, I'll say it, it feels like there's not a challenge to this anymore. Yeah. All right. Recovered for 100% of the value. And all the tourists are back. One of them was level 3. Okay, let's see here. Mission control. What do we got? Another ferry mission. Where do they want to go? Fredo and Melkin. Do they want to go to the moon? That's not very interesting. Okay. Recover a part from orbit of Kerbin. Low Kerbin orbit. Okay, another part. Doesn't seem to be a very big part. Science data from the surface of Minmus. Okay, that's going to be just as easy as the last one. I'm not interested in building an orbital space station, sorry. Gravimetric surveys of Minmus near a vehicle I already have there. Okay, and ferry 3 more tourists, so this is 5 tourists in total. The moon, and the moon. So 5 tourists want to go to the moon. Okay. And then 5 more I see here. Okay, 5 more want to go to the moon and the sun. Minmus. Orbit Minmus. Land on the mun. That's 10 tourists in total. Do I really need the money? I'm guessing I'm going to have to think about that. Seismic surveys of Gilly. Let's accept that, because we will be able to do that at some point. Might as well get those on there. So I'm feeling like these, for sure, are easy. Might as well get the ferry missions in there. These 5. Surface Minmus, for sure. Let's recover that part from LKO. Gravimetric surveys. I don't know about this one. It does make the whole thing a challenge. Yeah, why not? We'll try to do all 10 at once at some point. Alright, might as well do the obligatory completion of that last one there. Obviously that's done. Ooh, let's make sure this is actually not going to freeze up on me. There we go. Yeah, I think the other thing that might be fun next stream might be trying to figure out a design for where is it? Not that one. Extract ore and deliver it to Kerbin. This one. Nearly 2,600 units of ore extracted from the Mun and brought back to Kerbin. That could be interesting. So I think coming up with a design for that is on the docket. There's also an asteroid. That could be fun too. So I don't know. I think I'm going to roll with it for maybe a few more streams. Like I said, everything reiterated. I'm not sure how much I want to continue with the no engine thing, since it's feeling pretty easy. If I can muster up a challenge out of some of these, and maybe it still feels worth it, maybe we'll keep up with it. But branching out to different games in some of these streams might be exciting for me, so I'm going to kind of consider that. Thanks again for anyone who joined me. Again, you're a quiet bunch, but I still appreciate it. So I will catch you guys next time. Later.